And I think we are live. Hello and welcome to our stream of playing a particular group of Corvids. Not Covids, but Corvids. This is a very, very preliminary play test session. And yeah, I have a script and I almost know what's going on. I'm Petri. I'm the storyteller and the creator of the game. And yeah, this is a game about birds who are solving crime before the pigs show up. I think that's all you need to know. Let's go through who our players are, and let's start with Eri.
Hi everyone, my name is Eevi Korhonen. In my real life, I am a narrative designer working, and you can be finding me on the internet at Twitter under nickname Ciliat, so you should be seeing that next to my box here. And when I'm not in real life, today I'm going to be playing a bird called Septimus, and they're going to be the lore master / thief of the group. So imagine kind of like Arsène Lupin style gentleman thief, who is also a little bit of a snob and a former aristocrat who's fallen from grace, and now these lovely birds.
Wonderful. Maija?
Hi everyone, I'm Maija Soini, and during my daytime I'm a data analyst for government, and during the evenings, because sun is shining, I'm playing a jackdaw named Penny. Penny is arsonist.
Arcanist.
She's also arcanist, arsonist maybe also, not yet, who's also a mechanist and loves all the secrets and is the tiny little one in this group. And in the internet, I can be found in Twitter, Maija Soi, which is mentioned, but I mainly retweet pics of cats. So
yeah, and then there is Mikko.
Yep. Hi everyone. I'm Mikko Merläinen. During all the boring time, I'm a game scholar. I study young people's gaming and miniaturing and all kinds of interesting stuff related to games. Today I will be playing Romney, who is a crow, and Romney is kind of a big, burly dock worker, bouncer type, the odd job guy for doing a little less of the thinking and a little more of the acting. And if you are online, you can find me on Twitter, mostly work-related stuff nowadays. And if you are into miniatures, you can check out my website at www.dawnoftheLead.com, and you can see a cat behind my shoulder.
Wonderful. Let's see if I can. I may have to adjust the picture a bit, but let's see what we can accomplish. Just like this. There's some. I'm having some technical difficulties. Also, Mikko, your face is looking really interesting right about now. It's glitching in the worst ways possible. You look like you are not a real person, but something generated by AI. But yeah.
But the important thing is the cat is visible.
Yeah, the cat is visible. Mikko is obscured by some random noise, and it's really creepy.
Sounds wonderful. It's showing me the video as normal. So
yep.
I can be happy with that.
So that you don't look like a Hollywood monster, could you turn your video off and on again? Just please.
I have just seen the video. This looks really disturbing.
Now it's working. Now it's working.
Oh.
Now it's working. Now the cat is moving. I think it's the cat.
The cat is sus.
The cat cannot be captured on video.
Yeah, so quickly about the game, I promised Jonas that we will be one of my friends that I'll explain the system before we start. We are using a pool of d20s, rolling basically one or more of them, and keeping the highest rolled. And the number of dice we use depends on if the thing the character is doing is something they're good at, you get 1 die. If it fits your bird type, so crow, magpie, jackdaw, you get another. If it fits your investigative role, so in this case, detective, lore master, or what was it called? Questioner. Yeah, questioner. Then you get another die, and then if the table agrees this is a cool moment, or if the thing you're doing is very personal, you get 1 extra die, because this is a game about being cool and doing cool stuff. And then 1 more die if you have a clear advantage in the situation, or someone is clearly helping you there. And you get -1 die if you are in some sort of a disadvantage in the situation, or someone is hindering you. And if for some reason you are rolling 0 dice or less, you roll 2d20 and keep the lowest. And whatever the highest number is determines how well the roll goes. So a 20 is a critical success, 15 to 19 is a great success, 10 or higher is a marginal success, then 5 up is marginal failure, 2, 3, or 4 is a failure, and 1 is a spectacular failure. And after this, you can take a cost, which is something that like isn't related to succeeding or failing, but is hindrance to the character. Maybe you lose something valuable, or suffer a minor injury or whatnot, and you can up the success by 1. So a marginal failure becomes a marginal success. And if everything else fails, each character has a point of conviction that the player can use to reroll 1 of their dice. In addition to this, there are mechanics for using bird powers, which are magical abilities the characters have, and receiving hits in combat from enemies, which have to do with exhaustion. And exhaustion is also gained each time the characters witness some injustice, they fail a roll, or accept a cost to upgrade result up 1. But I think the most important rule is that this is a storytelling game, and if the rules come in the way of telling a good story, throw the rules away. So we are mostly here to tell a story about a group of 3 birds solving a crime. It's not going to be a very complex crime. We only have 2 hours, but it's going to be a crime. And they are going to try and do that before the pigs, who are, well, they're the police from outside the community, try to come in and solve the crime for them. We will be using some safety mechanics. We have one thing that I will fully admit that I was supposed to go through in talking the our lines and veils, but I encourage all our players. There's the document has been shared in our Discord. Players have written their lines and veils there, but I would like if you take a look at them and memorize them. I won't go over them on stream because they are personal. So we will just hand wave to the stream and say that this has been done. The other safety mechanic is an X card. So if some content here bothers you, just cross your hands to the camera and or say something like stop or X or whatever, and we'll pause and move around the subject, taking a pause in the stream if necessary. Our timetable is such that we have 2 breaks. We have one break at 7 o'clock, which is about an hour, 50 minutes from now, and another at 8:05, so 1 hour from when the first pause ends. After the second break, we'll have a 20-minute debriefing of the game, and then we'll close the stream and continue debriefing personally behind closed doors. This is always the part where I get exhausted because I talk so much. Then one more thing, we're using finger cue as a method of asking turn to speak. So if you want to talk, raise your finger up at the camera like this, and if someone already has the finger up, then you mark the next in order, and when someone has spoken, they get the turn to speak, they lower their finger, and everyone updates their place in the queue. I won't be calling out names, so please everyone keep your eyes on the video to make sure you are in the correct place in the queue. If you want to quickly interject something, use the royal hand wave and make a note, something like that. I think that's all the practicalities about the game. A Particular Group of Corvids is a game that is set in a very, very loose setting. It doesn't have a dedicated setting to it, so we have discussed beforehand what we're doing, and we are playing in a steampunk setting with corvids that are somewhat anthropomorphic. So basically we're talking about the Disney movie scale of animals, so they wear clothes and they have hands. And since this is a steampunk society, they also have built airships and whatnot. And the setting is such that there is this free city of Roost where you all live, and it is the only free city in the whole nation. Well, the whole monarchy. The monarchy is a vast empire, as all good steampunk stories have, that is very, very authoritarian, and they would very much like to exert their rule upon Roost as well. But so far they haven't found any good reasons, because Roost, even though they are a free city, they play by the rules just enough to keep trouble away. One of the ways that monarchy wants to influence the city is by having its own police force here, and that police force consists of demons known as sus. They are all pigs. Well, not all sus are pigs, but all pigs are sus. The demons can take other forms, but every pig you will encounter is one of these demons. About animals, you can change the type of animal you are by adopting the particular traits that animal has, and then willing yourself to change into that animal. So you might encounter a dog who has been a wolf, or a cat who has been a mouse. And that's just like a natural progression. It's nothing to be surprised about. And some of you might already be something else, or have been something else than you are currently. Yeah. Our our magpie has once been a pheasant, was it? Yes. So yeah. Because we are sort of pressed for time, I will be quick with the introduction of our scenario, and since this feeling in all of you is something of a mystical calling to solve crime, to protect the community, you often find yourself or selves in situation where there has been injustice, where there has been something wrong, and it's sort of an instinct, sort of a calling that has guided you to the riverside next to a very large porcelain factory, and it's a nice like midsummer afternoon. Beautiful trees line the riverside, and in general everything is quite pleasant, but you also peasant. This is working class area. This is not anything fancy. And you found yourselves here. Have you arrived as a group or each individual? You know each other. There aren't that many Corvids in the roost, but are you all here as a group or as individuals? Yeah, Romney.
I'm probably going to be following whichever of these two has felt that they need protection.
Yeah.
I would say that at least Septimus has arrived separately from the group, but then I think that he would probably, unless Penny requires more protection, then again, Septimus also has a lot of ego, so he can also be like, no, I don't need protection.
Yep. Penny has definitely been with Romney somewhere, hanging around, not wanting to be alone. So they have apparently came together here.
Okay. Amidst this perfectly fine day, there's like 2 clouds in the sky. You hear an argument, and not just an argument between 2 people, but like there's at least you'd say a dozen voices in a very loud shouting match coming from somewhere in the porcelain factory. Yep.
Sorry, I forget that you're not calling us out. We need to be called out. No. Maybe if Romney and Penny have arrived before, because maybe they live closer to the dockside, and then Septimus strolls in just as the kind of like argument starts to get heated, and he's strolling in, of course, with a cane, with a very kind of like black and woman's thiefly like outfit, complete with a monocle and a top hat, strolling in, hopping down the final step, and greeting Romney and Penny like, "Oh, good fellows, good to see you, even though we are meeting again conditions of injustice."
Yes, it really seems like you have arrived again at the right time. Romney is puffing on a cigarette, which he's throwing down.
Penny is nodding for both of you. It's like, yeah, we all, and especially you, Septimus came in the right moment, and it's so exciting. Should we go a bit?
Septimus nods, and with the theatrical swish of his black cape, he's like, "Yes, let us go in."
Yeah, you walk to the courtyard of this porcelain factory. There's like these tall pipes lining it and workshops here and there. These red brick buildings, and in the middle of the courtyard, there's two groups, mostly cats and dogs, mixed, like not cats on one side and dogs on another, but like two groups who are in a verbal, like, it's escalating really fast. It's going to be a physical fight really soon. This is something that Romney you can like see a mile away. And it's you can't hear what they're actually arguing about, but they're just calling, like, blaming each other for something. Yeah.
I know to Septimus, do we want to step in here, or should we just they'll come to blows in 15 seconds?
Oh, my good man, step in then.
Very well. I'll stroll pretty much in the middle of the situation and quite loudly just proclaim, "So what seems to be the problem?"
Okay, that calls for a roll. I'm not just going to let you solve that without a roll. So let's go through these, like building the dice pool. Is this something you're good at?
It probably is. I am used. I've been a bouncer. I'm used to breaking up situations like this, and I'm also physically quite large.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one for being good at this. I'd say that you're bird type. You're a crow. Crows are big and burly. That comes to play. Does this fit your investigative role?
Not really.
Okay.
I'm more about making people.
Yeah. Does the table think this is cool?
Yes.
It definitely is.
Okay, so and I'm not giving you a clear advantage, but I am actually giving you a disadvantage because this is the last moments of the like situation. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 2. If I counted correctly, 1 for being good at this, 1 for your bird type, and 1 for the cool moment, and then -1 for the disadvantage. So 3. What's your highest?
3 or 2.
3.
2, right?
No, 2. 2. Sorry. Yeah, I'm. Math is hard.
Yes. So great success.
Okay. So what happens is, like, you go in the middle, and there's this moment where there is like one of them is like ignoring you and going for the like like, okay, let's rumble, and like there's this gap between the two groups, and this one little scrawny cat goes like starts running the gap and just like freezes next to you and looks at you and he's like hi. Yeah, like it's those like
I repeat the question. What seems to be the problem?
The foreman is dead, and it's their fault. The foreman is dead, and it's their fault. And now the other side is shouting back at this scrawny little cat, like, why on earth would we kill the foreman? It's like, and like, again, it devolves into this cacophony of arguments.
As it seems that there's clearly two sides to this fight, can we easily tell, like, what is the differentiation between the two sides?
It looks like there's like you don't. Well, actually, let's roll. It's always good to roll. I love rolling. So, is this something that Septimus is good at?
I think he can pick out little bits and pieces out of people, like clothes, something like in the manner. Yeah.
Is this something that comes from your bird type?
Thief.
Yeah. Okay. Does this fit your investigative role?
It would be actually better for Penny as detective, or if it was, so no.
Yeah. So we're still at 1. You don't have a clear advantage, and it's not something that's disadvantage. So one die.
I'll use the trusty roll dice, and it says 9.
It says 9. 9 is a marginal failure. You like, there's a division, and you're not quite sure. If you're willing to take a cost, you can up that to a marginal success.
No, I think Septimus is a bit of a snob, so he's just kind of like maybe not so working type.
Yeah, that's excellent. Since that was a failure, add 1 to exhaustion. Okay, so it's not really clear that.
Yes, Penny is.
Go ahead. I was just.
In the meanwhile, when Romney is asking the questions and Septimus is trying to figure out who these people are, or cats and dogs are, Penny is climbing a bit higher to have like a safer position and also a better view of the situation. And she's trying to figure out not exactly the same as Septimus, but like what it seems going on here. Like, is the deceiver? Did they came here like for some other reasons?
Sounds good. Let's make a roll out of that. So 1 die. Is this something you're good at?
I would say so, because Penny is looking usually what's going on and little things.
Sounds good. That's 1. From your bird type.
Not that much.
Okay. From your investigative role, you're a detective.
She's a detective.
Yeah, so you're good at that sort of stuff. Is this a cool moment or personal? Probably not, since this is just detecting. They're rarely a cool moment, and you don't really. Actually, I think I'm going to give you an advantage since you're going like higher up. So that's 3 die. Let's get a roll and see what's going on.
So there's 29 and 11.
A 20. Well, that's
20.
a critical.
We have a 20 here.
Yeah. Okay, and my Nightbot is apparently claiming that I am writing about them deeper bones. It's out of sync. Oh well, who cares? Technical issues. 20 is a critical success, and that means that not only do you you climb up to get an vantage point on these groups, but you climb next to one of the studio windows that is like in one of these buildings, and I'll give you the basic success first, which is that these are clearly 2 groups of different sort of workers. There's artists, and then there's those who are tending the fireplaces and making the practical stuff. So there's a clear divide between these 2 groups, and the scrawny cat who was claiming that the other group is responsible is clearly from the practical workers side, and the ones defending are the artists. And the thing that you get from the critical success is that you look in and you see a body of a sparrow on the floor. They've been violently killed. You see blood. And not much more from that vantage, and that would have been the great success. And with a critical success, you notice someone approaching the factory
from somewhere.
From where you came from.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a lot that you just gained. The two groups are throwing verbal insults at each other, but keeping their distance thanks to the fact that Romney is standing right between them, and going at one of the other group would mean that they'd have to go through Romney first. Yeah.
Since Septimus is not able to discern the meaning of these two factions, he steps in next to Romney and kind of a very or nodding towards the factions and then looking at Romney. As I heard something about a body, we are here to investigate the issue. Can you please point us where this body is?
There is a slight tension as the two groups size each other up. Who would be the one taking you? Like, it's clear that they want this issue solved, but like both are sort of feeling like they should have the right to take you there. Yeah.
I glare at the scrawny cat. You seem to be pretty enthusiastic about all of this, so how about you show us the body?
Yeah, okay, sure. I'm able.
Yeah, Penguin, wherever she is at the moment, trying to wave to Septimus and Romney if they can see her, and trying to point at the same time, a bit confusingly, to the room and to the person who's coming to the factory.
Yeah, you don't have any problems noticing this. Apparently, she's Penny's pointing to two directions, and you also see that someone is approaching. They're wearing a dark blue uniform and like round hat, and their snout is large and sweaty. Yep.
Having spied the flash of blue and knowing what that means when walking towards trouble, Septimus swiftly turns to Romney. Romney, smell a pig coming. Take care of that while I secure the crime scene.
Okay. So the cat, whose name actually is Abel, leads Septimus to the workroom. Penny, you can probably get in through the window. It's not a problem for you. So you two go there, and Romney, you are left to deal with the pig. He's a bulky guy. Lots of center mass, so to say, and he lifts his hat and says, "Oh, jolly good day, sir."
What seems to be the problem, officer?
I heard some commotion here, and I think I could help with the situation. I think this needs Yes, this certainly needs a touch of the law. This lawless place. What seems to be the problem here?
It's nothing big. It's business. Internal factory thing. Nothing to concern yourself about.
Oh,
And I give him a very meaningful look.
give me a roll.
So I will roll for. Oh, let's see. I'll have the stats.
Yeah. Do you want to use your bird power on him already, or just like give him a meaningful look?
I'll start with a meaningful look, and if this is not enough, then it's on to bird powers. No, actually, it's a short game. Let's go with the bird powers.
Yes.
I will. I'll use my terrorize power of startle. So I'll try and to make someone stop what they're doing and reconsider.
Okay. So again, as with all roles, let's see. You have. Is this something you're good at?
Yes.
Is this from your bird type? Since you're using a bird power, this is always true. So that's 2 die. Does this fit your investigative role? I would argue yes.
Not really.
I would argue yes.
Oh, okay.
Since this, like, this is sort of like in that gray area. I'd give that. Oh yeah.
He wants to get an answer out of the sus that is yes. I'll.
Yes. Does the table agree this is a cool moment, or if this is personal for you?
Kind of both. Sus are always are personal in the
Yes.
sense that.
Yep. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't have an advantage, you don't have a disadvantage. So 4 dice, keep the highest.
It's a natural 20.
The pig there, like he looks at you and tries to formulate a few words, and although he's larger than you are, for a moment he feels smaller and like just can't formulate words, just oinking.
I'll gesture to the people fighting, and I'll kind of call out to them. It's just internal factory business, right? Right, boys.
And both sides of the argument in unison go, internal factory business. Mind your own business and get lost, pig. And the pig slinks away. Mark 1 feather, since you use the bird power, and then roll 1d20.
4.
Yep, no worries. If you would have gotten 1, then it would have meant that your base instincts kick in. But as it is, all is good. Meanwhile, up in the studio, it's it's an artist shop, and in the middle there is this. Did I say mouse? I think I said a mouse, or was it a sparrow? Sparrow, yeah.
Sparrow.
Like, I have a name list, and like I thought I marked one, but I yeah. So there's a sparrow wearing like a foreman's like sort of a uniform with a heavy apron to protect themselves, and the sparrow is lying on the ground, and there is blood. no one else is here, and it would. At first glance, you don't see anything amiss, unless either of you have some understanding of pottery. Porcelain, specifically. Yep.
Well, in my former life, I was quite a fan of vases and took up reading. I never, of course, made any of my own, but I did watch the best of the craft work in the workshops.
It's like without a roll. I'll if you want to roll later, then I'll let you. But something's amiss at the studio. There's something like not the way it should be. But when you climb up, you have to go through a locked door, and well, the window was open, so that's one way in. But in general, it's a locked room.
So Abel is only able to
Yes.
take me to the door, but he doesn't have the key.
He has the key.
Okay.
So he opens it for you, and
it's locked from the outside, or
it's one of those where you can lock it from the outside and open it with a latch from inside, because well, there's valuable things here during the night time. So, what do you want to do? Yep, Septimus.
Septimus, having gained access and briefly looking at the lock, interestingly, clearly having this train of seeing Penny perched on the window, kind of like gestures, quickly takes in the room, gestures at Penny. Penny, do what you do best while I will get some details of this crime, Abel. And can you tell us exactly how the body was found?
Okay, so Penny.
Yes, Penny nods many times to Septimus and is like, yes, I will do what I do best. And then to the body, still minding that she's not stepping on anything, and kneels down and takes a mirror from her pockets. Penny is dressed in kind of old clothes, kind of a bit dirty ones, not anything fancy as Septimus, and she's trying to talk to the body through the mirror, trying to figure out what it had.
So am I understanding correctly that you're using a bird power here?
Yes.
Or yeah. Okay. So you're seancing with your bird magic, sort of.
Yes.
So, is this something you're good at?
I would say so.
Yeah. One die comes from your bird type, always with bird powers. Does this fit your investigative role?
Well, this is finding clues and details from
Sounds good.
the situation.
Is this a cool moment?
Talking to a dead one.
Yeah, the
Yes.
table agrees. You don't have an advantage, you don't have a disadvantage, so that's 4. Yeah,
Yes.
give me a roll.
So there's a 6, 2, and 15.
Well, 15's good. That's a great success. So you start conjuring up the spirit of this deceased person. And is there anything particular you want to know, or do I just give you some vague ideas?
Penny's, of course, first. I hope you don't mind that I'm here to talk to you while you're dead. Peace here, maybe not peace, but anyways, she's trying to figure out just like what was the last moments you had here. Basically, that's the main idea.
Yeah. So you get a glimpse from what happened. The foreman marking something on their. They have this tablet, marking something. It's all technical. You don't really understand what they're doing. They're just marking something and going through the tables here at the studio, and then they come to one table and look at their notepad and look at the table, and there's nothing on the table, and their eyes go back to the notepad, and like you feel this, like they have this slight what's going on moment, and then they feel a sharp sting in their back, and then all goes dark. Yeah, so that's a bird power, so mark one feather and roll 1d20.
On the 20.
Yeah, one d20, always d20.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah, okay, you're good. So that's going on there, and Septimus was asking Abel something.
How was the body discovered? My good man.
Well, we came in, and it's like this. Every morning we come in and we take what the foreman tells us to take to the fires and fire them up, and like it's he was there and on the floor. And
when the body was discovered, the door was locked, but the window was open.
Yeah, it's the window shouldn't be open. It should be closed. We don't want any wet air here. Wet air is bad.
No wet air. Exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
Not good. That's not good.
And was there anyone else working here late last night? I assume the foreman was usually last to leave.
Yeah, they mark what goes in what order, and then they leave, and yeah, I don't think anyone else was here. And he walks to the window and shouts to the yard. Was anyone here last night late? And there's a response of muttering, as no one is admitting, at least, that they were here.
Septimus, noticing that the incident with the pig seems to be over, kind of like snaps the feathers at Romney. That nod. Find out if anyone was here late last night, if they saw anything suspicious.
Yep.
It's time for another meaning. I'm kind of glaring around the whole group. So is everyone sure that they weren't here late last? If you were, it's much better to speak at this point.
Yeah, there is this, like, everyone is looking at each other. You don't have to roll because there's nothing to be gained here. And, like, everyone is looking at each other, and you have this feeling that everyone here is like, they weren't here. Like, they're assuming someone else was. And you're like 90% sure that these, unless these are some sort of top-notch liars, then these none of these people were here.
I look back at Septimus and I shake my head.
Well, I need to look into a hunch I have about the workshop, so try to establish if there was anything else going on last night, or if there's anyone would have had against the foreman. and then turns to Abel and kind of like with a wing, you can go now, kind of gesture, and turns back to look at the workshop of the hunch of something is missing, something is awry. Might have to use some superior bird senses here.
Okay. Abel is like, okay, I'll be off then, and scurries away and joins the crowd outside quite soon, because like it's easier to be there than here. So you tune your senses. Eyesight, I assume?
Actually, I'm thinking I might...
Huh?
Yeah, sight. I think I'm actually using the second level power, the glimpse of the beyond. So tune into an object, person, or a place and roll to gain supernatural insight about it.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's a roll. Is this something you're good at? Yeah.
This is exactly my thing.
Okay, so that's 1. This is a bird power, so that's 2. This is probably to your investigative type as well, since
Lore master.
Yeah, since this is about knowing things. You don't. Is this cool? Do we want to give a Okay. So that's 4. I don't see you having an. I actually see you having an advantage if Penny explains what they saw.
If Penny has an option for that.
Of course, but when Septimus comes in before you sight, he asks Penny, "Have you found out anything?"
Yes, I have. Penny rises from the floor and steps a bit further away from the body, and she's like, there, she or he, well, this Sparrow was walking around here. Yes, was it yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
Or this night?
Night.
Yesterday. He had a tablet. Is it somewhere here? Penny starts to look around, and
yeah, it is.
Yeah, he's looking this and things on the table, and then he was standing there beside that weird feeling that something is missing from there, and then someone stabbed him in the back, and he died. That one I figure out while talking to him.
Septimus adjusts, and it suddenly takes on this kind of like dark purple hue as he kind of like focuses his sight in the things that are beyond.
Yeah, so 5d20. 5 ones now, please.
No. So, well, it was a 4 best, but I think in this case I put it into great success, so I could take a cost or pay the conviction. What would be the cost in this case?
You could take a cost or pay the conviction to roll 1 die again, so it's not certain.
Yeah.
But I think the cost here would be that whatever you find here is something too close to home.
Ooh, yes, I'll take that cost. That sounds good.
Okay, that turns the situation to great success, and you get 1 point of exhaustion from doing the upping with the cost. You focus on the empty spot on the table, and there's this fruitful void is probably the best description of what is there. There should be a vase there. There should be beautifully crafted porcelain vase that has the it's not a logo, but like
Crest.
the crest of your family on it, like when you're a pheasant, and beneath it there is what can best be described as, well, not even best be described as what this is. This is a vase celebrating the marriage between someone from your family and someone else. Like, you know the other family as well, but this is like a celebratory vase made for member of your family. Of course, not ready, since this is the workshop where they're made, but yeah.
My family is called Pavonini, after the genus or the tribe of peacocks. Yes, Pavonini.
Yeah, so one of the Pavonini family is getting married, and this is probably made by your family to the other family as a wedding gift. And actually, one thing that you know from a great success, since this is investigation, of course, is that if such a thing were to go missing, it would be a disaster in many ways. Both in the superstition and also because one like it's a valuable gift to the other family, and not having it would be disgrace. Yep.
Does I also recognize the other family? What was the other family?
Now I have to come up with a name. One moment. Yeah, I'll come up with a name in a few moments.
You come up to Penny.
Yeah.
What I see. So Septimus tunes in on the monocle, looks around the room, looks at the spot where thing is missing, and suddenly you can tell Septimus's gaze that like his whole being darkens somehow, and he kind of like almost with a little shake to his hand takes off the monocle and kind of like scrubs it clean, and it turns back into the trash color that it has. And Septimus takes a deep breath and, well, this has gotten personal.
Yeah, the name of the family is Psitta. Psitta. It's parrots. Yeah.
Yeah, personal. That sounds horrible. How personal? What kind of personal? Penny is trying to be polite and on the same time wants to know what is this personal inside of this thing.
Before that, I answer. So I also for using the power.
Right. Yeah, you took one feather, and that was the second level, and I feel obliged to give you something useful. I think you also gain a short glimpse of where it is now from the void, and it's in a warehouse, so probably somewhere on the riverside, somewhere nearby.
So close by still.
Yeah.
So as Septimus puts the monocle back on and kind of like ruffles himself a little bit to settle back in, turns to Penny. It seems missing item is a vase, a wedding gift from my old family to another one. Just brings back some memories.
Understand that. I'm so very sorry. We'll find it. Definitely we'll find it.
I did sense that it's in a warehouse, so I do think it's close by, but that it's missing and that the foreman was killed. Sawing indicates that the killer is likely the thief as well.
True. That's true. Should we still check the tablet just in case?
And that's a perfect place for us to have a 5-minute break. We'll see the viewers on the other side in 5. Okay, and we are back. So, the last we saw our bird heroes. They were they had just discovered the body of a Sparrow, Foreman, at the porcelain factory, and yeah. So back down on the yard, Romney, the crowd is sort of circling you and eyeing each other very suspiciously, since no one here seems to be the culprit. They're like certain that whoever did this came from the other side.
So does it look like it's about to get fighty again?
Your estimate is that if you don't if you don't get them to calm down, like give them some direction other than each other, it's if it doesn't get fighty now, it'll get fighty in like 5 minutes after you leave. So it's either way, it's bad.
I'll take a look at the crowd. Yeah, I think the best way to calm them, well, not calm them exactly, but to redirect them a little bit. I ask, like, has anyone seen anything suspicious lately? Has the foreman been in? Has there been anyone scouting around, or has the foreman been getting arguments or anything? Anyone who knows anything, I'll buy you a pint later.
Give me a roll. This is like I don't want to give you easy answers. I'll make you pay for them. So, one, is this something you're good at?
Well, this is more gentle than I would usually act. So
yeah, so not. Your bird type?
No, not really.
Investigative role.
Yes.
Yep.
That it is.
Is this a cool moment, or is this personal?
Neither, I think.
Okay, so we're at 1. Do you have a clear advantage? No, I don't think you have an advantage in this situation, so that's just 1 die. You don't have a disadvantage either. So
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. 11.
11, that's a marginal success. So I think with the marginal success, you're going to get bits and pieces. With a great success, you would get maybe even a direction.
Yeah, I think I will push it up to a great success at a cost.
Do you have an idea for a cost, or anyone else have an idea for a cost? I have something. I just read the rules, which is always nice, so we can all come up with ideas, not just the GM. But I'll start. The easy thing that I come up with is that it's gonna cost you more than a pint. Yeah. How about you?
Well, insulting a friend, does the friend have to be there to hear it? Like, he could maybe use like, yeah, those other two, they're like hoity-toity, you can tell me, I'm like you.
I think
kind of like
if
this all Septimus.
Yeah, I think for it to be a cost, it would have to be heard. But yeah, that's a good one. Any other ideas, or do you want to accept one of those already?
I think I could go for the extra price.
Yeah.
Rather than get into arguments with my friends. So but I would maybe say, so what counts as something that is a significant price?
I think in this case it would be something a bit more personal. I'm eyeing like your pocket watch, like that's a fancy pocket watch. I could maybe tell you something if I knew the time, sort of deal.
Yeah, fair enough. I can give out my pocket watch. Although it is slightly painful. Like I will need some convincing that there is actual gain to be had, but I will give the watch eventually if it turns out that this person actually knows something.
Okay, so before I forget, mark 1 exhaustion, and all of you mark 1 exhaustion, because this is a murder scene. You've witnessed a murder which is injustice, which automatically causes everyone to get 1 exhaustion. But the upgrading with a cost gives you 1. So one of the dogs from the artist's side, Hope, comes to you. She's an older basset hound, and she's like, oh, that's a mighty fine pocket watch. I could tell you some details if I knew the time. I have no idea when these things happened, but if I had a pocket watch, I might be able to tell you. And like you talk for a while, and she like she starts telling that she's seen someone on a houseboat, or a small like houseboat where you can sort of live as one person can, been cruising up and down the river and stopping near the factory, and this started on the day of that big order, when that big order came in, and the foreman has been sort of suspicious of it and spoke with Hope about this. And yeah, so that's like you were asking if there was anything suspicious, and I'll give one more detail. It has a bright red roof, the boat, so it's easy to notice, like it's easy to recognize.
Okay, I give her the pocket watch. Remind her that it used to be a pig's watch, so. And don't let them see you have one. And then I'm off to look for Penny and Septimus.
Yeah. So upstairs, Penny was looking for the notepad, the tablet, and you find it. It's under the body, like he's holding onto it with his left hand, and you have to pry it a bit to get it. And it's like a manifesto, like those shipping manifesto type things, where you mark items and check. There's check marks on a number of them, and the next line, the item on the pad is one vase with 2 crests on it. Like there, it's written in technical, like very very concise notes. But now that you know what you're looking at, you know what those scribblings mean. It's a vase. It has 2 crests on it.
Septimus peeks over and kind of like also tries to read the technical understanding. Is there anything about who connected to a client list?
There's an order number, and probably somewhere here is like bookkeeping. And now when you're asking that question, Romney climbs up the stairs, and the door is open since no one has locked it, so you walk in. And the situation sort of diffuses for a moment as Romney enters.
Romney, my good man, did you find anything out?
Yes, there's been a suspicious boat going around hereabouts. A houseboat. Apparently, the foreman was a little suspicious of it, and had spoken to some of the workers. The boat started coming around about the time of the big order. She was mentioning a big order. Has there been a big order?
I believe I know what the order might be. So we have a case of a murder connected to a thievery, and then theatrically pointing at the empty space at the table. And I believe it's a little personal one. It's a wedding gift, a vase, the crests of both the Sitter family and the Pavoninis. Romney knows Septimus well enough that's his old family. So we have also an order number here, pointing at the tablet. So we just look for the books and see who ordered it. But it's maybe the Pavoninis, assuming that the gift was from them to Sitters, would not be the ones who would sabotage their own gift.
Yeah. Regarding
unusual, but maybe
one quick note about the order number. The order number is the same for all of these items on the whole list, so it's a large order.
Is there anything connecting the other pieces, like what we see here? Also related to wedding?
You could piece out that this is probably like a new set of fine porcelain cups and plates and such made for the wedding, but the vase is a unique item amongst these all. Yeah.
Does either one of you recall seeing a boat, a small houseboat with a bright red roof?
Did you, Septimus, saw something about?
Oh yes.
Had the feeling about the warehouses next to the river, so the boat will go with that.
Yes. Or I just got a sense that the vase is in a warehouse, and we are in the industrial district. And if the thief the houseboat, it would stand to reason that there is a warehouse somewhere along the riverside where that vase is still being held.
Sounds like a clue to follow. If it's a bright red roof, if we get high enough, it shouldn't be too hard to spot it.
Capital idea. Anything else we wish to do here, or should we get on with it?
I think I don't think we find anything else here, so maybe we'll go hunt a red roof boat. And a vase, of course, the vase.
The vase, yes. Septimus also quickly sketches out, grabs a piece of paper and sketches out both the crests, so that if the other two happen to spot it, then
yeah, there's two fancy crests, more akin to the monarchy's style than the stuff you see here in the roost. But the porcelain made here is exquisite, so a lot of the families out there purchase stuff from here. So you head out of the factory. The two warring sides are at truce of some sort at the moment. They're just like, it's clear that you are doing something, so of course they're waiting for you to solve this thing. And yeah. So where do you head to, and who leads the way?
Is there a high vantage point somewhere, like big, like tall chimneys, if we're in a factory
Yes.
area, somewhere where someone more nimble than I could climb and maybe take a look along the river?
Yeah, there's these chimneys and a lot of steam pipes going everywhere, and like you have to go actually quite high up to get a good vantage point, because everything is being built up. It's the Industrial Revolution, the steam works and whatnot. But yeah.
This sounds like a job for a resident thief.
Okay, let's get a roll for getting a good vantage point. And maybe actually we'll just roll for finding out where the boat is, if it is somewhere. Well, it is, but like, is this something you're good at? I assume yes.
Yes, I spot things.
Yes, and from your bird type, you're a thief. So yeah, this is also true. Fits your investigative role? Probably not that much. You were.
It's not obscure.
Yeah. It's quite like easy, not obscure knowledge. Is this cool? I'm getting a thumbs up. Yeah. Okay, so it's cool. Do you have a clear advantage, or is someone helping you? I don't think you have an advantage. I don't think you have a disadvantage because you know about the boat. Otherwise, it would be a bit of a needle in a haystack situation. So 3. 3 D20.
3 2D20s. And we get 6, 18, and 3.
18 is a great success. You climb up and you start. You have to go a couple of rooftops ahead. It's the vantage point is actually not one of the factory chimneys, but some sort of cathedral like ornate place. You look like Batman when you're on top and looking down. It's afternoon, so it's not as dramatic, but it's still quite good. And you look down and scan the riverbed, and there's boats, there's houseboats, and then there is this one houseboat with a bright red roof, clearly like painted very recently, and it shines. It's a good way away from where you are, but it's still in the factory district, and there is a warehouse next to it.
Very convenient. Septimus flies down, landing in front of Romney and Penny. I think I have our culprit. Follow me.
Yeah. You follow the river. The trees are exquisite and beautiful, and the afternoon sun is forming nice shadows, giving this movement a dramatic backdrop. And you arrive, and now Romney and Penny, you also see this houseboat with a very, very bright red roof. It's impossible to miss unless you walk the other direction and never find it. But there it is, and there's a warehouse that has like a single, very nondescript door to it. A small warehouse. no one is around. It's on the other side of the river. There's a small bridge ahead that you can cross the river with, and no one is around there.
Septimus takes off his hat for a bit to scratch his head and then puts the hat back on. Well, there's an option. We could split our efforts, or we could stick together. How do you feel?
Sticking together, definitely. Right?
Yeah, it's reasonable enough. Do we go in by the main entrance? Is there another way in?
There could be a back entrance somewhere.
Yes, well, we could circle around and see if there's some better way in.
Yeah.
That sounds a good option.
Yeah, you sneak about, and there is not another entrance per se, but there are some windows, like in the. Well, actually, there has to be an entrance, a second entrance for there to be like this. This is a warehouse that loads from the boats and onto the carriages. So there's like main carriage entrance on the other side, and this is actually the back entrance that you're seeing. So yeah, there's two entrances, and there's small windows up there that you could possibly squeeze through. Yeah.
Yes, I was just looking for the size. Septimus looks at the windows. I think I could squeeze through one of those. If you two try the back door, and I will see if I can get one of those windows open.
Yeah, and if you get in, you can just come open the door for us. Save us a bunch of work.
Yeah, let's start with Septimus. So, is this something you're good at?
Exactly what I'm good at. I'm a thief.
Yes, and this is also something that fits your bird type. Again, not really so much your investigative role. Is this cool?
I think it's cool. Breaking and entering is always cool.
Yeah, sounds good. So that's 3, and you don't really have a clear advantage. It's a small. It's more like you have an advantage and you have a disadvantage. The advantage being that you're going through the window that's not really watched, and the disadvantage being that it's quite small and like you have to squeeze through. So 3. Give me a roll.
3. We got 12, 16, and 7. So there's another great success there.
Ooh, that's good. So you squeeze in, and there's these rafters up there. The window is mostly for ventilation purposes. There are at least 3 people there, dressed in long coats and hoods, and at the moment they're sitting and eating what probably is lunch. You can sneak to the back door and open it for the others if you want to, with a great success.
Yes, I think I'll do that. So wait, is this a separate roll, or do I get?
You don't. Yeah, it's with a great success. I'll give it to you. When you sneak to the back door, you actually see a 4th person. They're currently sleeping in the corner with like a blanket on them and actually snoring a bit. But compared to the others, they're a lot smaller. You wouldn't believe from the sound, but like smaller than the other three. You sneak to the door and unlock it, and yeah.
Septily pushes open the door and then signals the other two to come in, and then kind of like, without saying anything, quiet 3, and then +1 sleeping.
Yeah, you're in this place has a couple of separate sections, not really rooms, but separated by sort of sodded walls. From where you are now, you can see the sleeping person, and you can hear the munching of the 3 people behind the wall you're facing at the moment. Septimus, you saw there was a crate that looked like it could contain a vase. It is the table they are using for their lunch. So, and thank you for the follow, whoever that was. I'm currently looking at another window, so I can't see. But thank you for the follow. But yeah, they're eating food from the crate on the crate that is probably containing the vase, and muttering.
So again, quietly points out the crate, and then
So what do you want to do?
And then also kind of like signals if we can take multiple routes around to flank the 3 lunchers.
So we've probably been in a situation like this before. I assume that Penny is not much for fighting, or are you?
No, she isn't, but she can draw attention to herself quite nicely. That's needed for advantage for you to do something more physical.
I signal to Penny using a very, very delicate and expressive hand signal, something like this, and nod towards the people sitting there.
Is there something teetering above or hanging from the roof that could be dropped on the lunchers without hurting the crate?
There's stuff on the rafters, but I don't think it would be easy to do it without risking hitting the crate. The crate itself isn't really that sort of a massive wood crate. It's more very fine art object crate. So from a movie watching standpoint, this is like, that's a breakable item there. I'm like, if you're asking for costs here, it's that the crate breaks open. Yeah.
Then Septimus could default to another strategy, which would be to use the veil undetected, waiting for the distraction and for Romney to kind of like muscle in and hope to grab the vase before it gets potentially destroyed in the tussle.
Okay, let's hear from Romney. What's your play going to be when a Penny creates a distraction?
I'm happy to basically punch anyone in my way.
Sounds good.
Have something like a blackjack or a small bag or sock filled with sand or something like this that I usually use in this kind of situation. So do you want me to grab the crate, or should one of you? I can also keep those 3 distracted for a while. very physically distracted.
Yeah. So Septimus whispers quietly, Penny organizes the... you draw their attention, Penny draws their attention. I swoop in to take the vase, and then we're free to either try to talk them down or otherwise to not at least come after us once we've got the vase. Although one of them is definitely a murderer, so that is also to be considered.
Yep. So you pick up the they don't pick you up.
Exactly, my good fellow.
Wonderful. Let's start with the veil, because that's the first thing that can go wrong. So, is this something you're good at? I assume yes. One die from your bird type. Does this fit your investigative role? Maybe?
No.
No?
Lore Master.
No.
No.
Is this a cool thing? Or is this a personal thing?
It's kind of both.
Yeah.
I need to get that vase.
Yeah, it's your family vase. So yeah, so that's 3. You don't have an advantage. You don't have a disadvantage. So 3. Give me a roll.
Dun, 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 dun. 1, 4, 12.
12 is a marginal success. And I'll say that marginal success means that you can get to the other room, but realize that they are positioned in a way that you can't move around in the veil, so you can't get to the crate, but you're there so you can act later, but you don't have this perfect opportunity to snag the crate.
What could be the cost here to get to a better position?
Waking up the person is 1.
The 4th.
Yeah. Mikko?
Maybe putting Penny in danger.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh. Oh.
Any other?
Ugh. I was thinking of having to give away my top hat and cape.
No, this is going to hurt, because this is a significant one. Yeah,
it's very costly. I think without noticing, I wake up the 4th person.
Yeah, you have to go around in a way that drops something on them or something like that. But that's a great success. So you're in a great place to snag the crate once the commotion starts. Okay, so the person is now awake, but I'll still let you continue with the plan. The next point of failure is the distraction. And also, you use the veil, give me a feather. So add a feather and a roll.
Dun, dun. 11, and my feathers are 2, so nothing yet.
No worries. Yeah, it would have been a perfect spot for you to just grab the crate and run.
Get really selfish.
Yeah. Okay, so next thing is the distraction. What do you want to do, Penny?
Penny wants, if it's possible, to get a above once more and just like shine with her bird powers to all the attention of all these, she thinks 3 but 4 other persons here, to like focus on her and then let the other ones do what they do, like just whatever there is, dropping things, and then just like seem to be the person who is gonna steal everything.
Okay, wonderful. Give me a roll. Is this something you're good at? I assume yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and 1 from the bird type, since this is bird powers. Is this detective work? Not really. No.
Oh no.
Is this a cool moment?
Yes.
Yes. And do you have an advantage? Do you have a
We have I have a surprise.
Yeah,
moment.
you do have a surprise. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 dice. Let's roll.
4. Yes. So 16, 15, 7, and 4.
16's a great success. So that means that all 4 of them stop what they're doing and like momentarily just focus their attention on you. And at this moment, I'll let you know who these folk are. There's 3 wolves, like rough guys. Well, two guys and a girl. Clearly from the docks, these like probably boxers or hired muscle, and then there is 1 goose.
Because Penny is the person who first things, I can't say the thing in English, Arcanist, she's trying to pretend that she's doing magic there and try to intimidate the people there in the way that something really magical.
Yeah, I think with great success, the wolves are impressed with this. They're sort of the simple folk, and you're doing something a bit strange and appearing out of nowhere. Basically, means that they're like not really sure what they're doing. The goose, however, is not so easily tricked, and like they draw this nasty looking knife and look at you with very, very mean look. Yeah. The next person that can act is probably Septimus. Are you still following the plan and trying to grab the crate?
Yes. And this time I would use the power of swiftness to instantly move to another location nearby. You can continue with another action instantly after.
So
the idea would be to grab the crate and then use swiftness to with it.
Yeah, so as far as you can inside the room, I assume, like to the back wall. Yeah, it's a warehouse.
Somewhere where I can, somewhere where I'm breaking line of sight, so they don't know where I've gone, and I can deposit the vase out of the harm's way, and then
wonderful.
Then return to fisticuffs.
Yeah, let's go with a roll. Is this something you're good at? Yes, you're stealing something, 1 from the bird type since you're using a bird power. Not really lore master stuff. This is a very cool moment. I'll give you that even without asking, and also personal since this is the family vase. And you have a clear advantage because you are unseen and everyone's attention is on Penny. So 4 dice. Give me a roll and roll 4 once.
Oh no! 8 is my best!
What is your best?
This is the 8.
8. So that's a marginal failure.
I think this is the time to use conviction.
Yeah,
to reroll one of those.
Yeah, probably the worst die. Yeah,
also,
you're having a crisis.
It's like it's so bad that my camera is like no. Okay, one more with conviction. 14.
So that's a marginal success.
Can I still take cost on top of that?
Yes, to turn it into a great success, and I propose, of course, that you break the vase. It's a wonderful little cost. Any other good costs?
Of course, because being a master thief, Septimus would fight with his cane, so he could actually drop the cane and thus be at a little bit of disadvantage in the fight.
That sounds good to me as well. It's a significant cost, so you lose your weapon, or maybe you realize that you've left it outside when you started climbing. Yeah. Okay. So the crate disappears, and now it's Romney's turn. There's 3 wolves and you.
Okay. I think it's a warehouse, so there has to be a bunch of different around. I assume
it's a warehouse full of items, boxes, crates, stuff.
I'm going to push a large barrel over and roll it at the wolves.
Okay, using a bird power or just doing it.
I think this is mainly to draw attention at least at first.
Yeah, I'm going to flat out say that their attention is fully on Penny. She's using magical means to do it, so you're not drawing any attention by rolling a barrel.
Oh, that's okay. Well, I will actually try and make it more of an attack. So I'll try and knock them down with the barrel.
Okay, that's good. So, are you good at this?
Yes, general tussling.
Yeah, and since you're a crow, doing violence is something you're good at. Investigative roll, not so much.
Not really.
Is this a cool moment? I think yeah. And you have a clear advantage because they're looking at Penny. So 4 dice and give me. Get me
18.
Oh, 18's a great success, and you'd get 2 of them with that. If you up it to
nice
critical, you'll get all 3.
Yes, I want to do this. It's all bowling. Yes, I definitely want to do it. But at what cost?
My suggestion for a cost is that you get the 3 of them, but the goose gets a drop on you.
Yep, that sounds fine. I'm always up for a murderous goose.
Peace was never an option.
Peace was never an option. Yeah. So what do if this was a movie? What did the viewer see when you bowl down the three bad wolves?
Yeah, it's probably first of all it's one of these huge barrels, more like wine, sort of like wine barrels that kind of kick the supports out from under it and then push it towards them, maybe kind of just walking behind it and giving it some extra push. But just as it kind of bowls them over, I maybe feel a slight stab in my side and hear some vicious cackling.
Honking.
Yeah,
honking. Oh yeah,
honking.
Yeah. An evil honk. Yeah.
You hear an evil honk. Yeah. So what happens is the goose. It actually isn't going to stab you, but yeah. What it does instead is it raises its knife and swirls it a bit around, and this watery tentacle appears out of nowhere and grabs you and ties you down. So you're tied down. That's the cost. And as blackbirds, you know that the sus use water magic. So this goose is probably one of the sus or a similar creature of evil. And yeah, so Romney is tied down at the moment. What do you want to do? And actually, I'll start with Romney. What do you want to do in this situation where you're shackled?
I'll just try and muscle my way.
Okay. Yeah, Septimus.
We forgot to roll for my swift use, so I suggest that we check my selfishness.
Yeah, let's do
Thumbs
that.
up.
So
It's 3 feathers, so still not high chances, but 18. No.
Yep.
Septimus manages to set the vase down and then return. Probably see what's happened to Romney.
You see that the 3 wolves are down, and the goose has summoned a watery tentacle to bind Romney. And they're cackling and honking.
Septimus instantly reaches for the cane that is not there, and probably picks up a shift something to try and throw at this.
Okay, sounds good. Is this something you're good at?
Actually, wait. Let me rephrase, because this would result in just a sore failure. So terrible roll. I think actually this would be another case of trying to use thieving powers to sneak up on the.
Okay, so you'll be sneaking. What does Penny do?
Penny.
Keep forgetting if it's Penny or Polly. Penny. Polly would be a parrot.
Both are. And I would guess Penny. That's true also. Penny is putting down the hissing and clicking thing she was having for the distraction, and trying to look around if there's something that she can boost, basically.
Yeah.
Because she's up a bit upper, and she's not a fighting person, so throwing things. But good option at the moment.
Yeah, you see,
but
there's
mechanist.
There's like for a mechanist, there's some wrenches. You know how to use a wrench, so throwing one you know how the weight feels, so you pick one of those and throw at it.
Yes.
Is this something you're good at?
Well, maybe no.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case.
Maybe the only way.
Yeah, probably not from your bird type either, or no. Investigative roll? Nope.
No.
Do you have a clear advantage? Not really, because they're looking at you. So, is this cool? You're throwing stuff. Yeah. So give me two d20, and whichever is the lower is the result.
It's gonna go well. 3.
3. Yeah, that.
The higher one was 5.
Yeah, so yeah, it would have been failure either way, even if you had a better. It's a standard failure. Take 1 point of exhaustion, and well, you're just throwing stuff at the goose and not really being good at it. So it works as well as one would assume. One thing I would like from Romney now is an exhaustion roll, because the goose has you. So you can either since you're tough as nails, you can make this endurance roll with normal just 1d20, or you can use a regular roll if you want instead. I actually need to make a note that this can be used after the roll, like as a re-roll, so make an endurance check. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
roll a d20.
Yeah. So the first just a single d20. That is a 4.
How many endurance? exhaustion you have?
So far.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't get knocked out. You don't have to use the power. That's one thing I have to note down and add to the next version, so that it's not a gamble. It's a sure way of getting a reroll. Yeah. So you stand your ground. Can I get a stealthy roll from Septimus, or did I get one? I didn't get one already.
You didn't. No. So it would be. I'm also checking. So this is what Septimus is good at. Their bird type is thief.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit investigative role. Is this a cool moment?
What do you think? I'm getting shrugs.
Well,
so
I'm sneaking up on a
not really.
Yeah. But I think I have an advantage because I haven't been noticed, and Penny's still drawing attention. So 3.
Yep.
And we have 12 as the highest.
So that's a marginal success. I say with that you get close to the goose, but it notices you at last minute, so you don't get a sneak attack on it, but like you're in range to continue.
And what would be the cost?
If you want to push it, now, any good ideas? I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
Putting Penny in danger again.
No cost ideas. I maybe a jolly stab from the goose as a retaliation.
A retaliation. Yeah. That would be, I think. What I see Septimus doing is actually taking off their top hat and slamming it on the goose's head, so they're kind of like they would be a little bit blinded by the hat being on their face, but still getting a stab for that to work.
Yeah, sounds good. Give me an exhaustion roll.
So this was just 1 against.
Yeah, and that was now a great success, right?
4.
Okay, 4 is that.
That is just above my exhaustion, which is 3.
Okay, above is good. So no worries. Please mark exhaustion from failures earlier. So I think which of you failed in their rolls? I think it was Penny who.
The previous wasn't. Yeah, Penny failed. Yes.
Yeah, and
do I take exhaustion from this stab?
No, you don't. That was just like take the roll.
Yes.
And just as a cost, have you make the roll. So, Romney, can you give me a roll to break free from the horrible? You'll have an advantage for this because Septimus hatted the goose. There's a muffled honk coming from inside.
Yes. So there's an advantage.
This is bird type.
And the bird type. Yeah. I say 3 dice.
Yeah, 3 dice sounds good and not really cool. This is struggling. So yeah.
Yes. This is. Yeah. It's an 18.
Yes.
18 is a great success. If you get that to a critical, I'll let you punch the goose.
Never miss the chance to punch a goose.
Yeah.
Always strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Okay. So I will push it to a critical success.
I'd say a good cost here would be like you may be hurting your leg while breaking free, so movement would be a bit harder from this point on. But like you just brute force your way through the watery shackles and get a punch in, and there's this like sound of a bagpipe, like going out of air when you punch the goose, and like and it honks no more. it goes down, and yeah, your leg hurts. You probably tore a tendon or something.
I sit on the goose, just pin him down.
Septimus retrieves his hat, which is a little bit misshapen, and he looks at it as he tries to push the dent in, the dented hat back on his head.
No, Penny.
Are they down now? Did you get the waist? I didn't see. She's up there, excited care to come down, but she's wanting to know if we got what we were looking for, and who are these? Who were these? Who are these people? What is the sauce?
No worries, Penny, when we have the vase.
Yeah. They are down and out, and the vase is secure. So all in all, your little adventure has been a success. Do you return the vase back to the factory? Yep.
I think definitely wants to do that, but at the moment of giving it back to the factory people, or then probably newly elected foreman, when they ask, like, who can the family thank for this, Septimus hesitates for a moment and just says, a particularly friendly group of Corvids. Having accepted his new life in the roost, and even though it's bittersweet, he does not want them to know that it was him.
Sounds perfect. The new foreman, of course, is Hope with her new pocket watch keeping time. That's only natural. And life moves on in the roost, and there will be new crime, there will be new cases to solve, and new injustices to right. Thank you. Let's have a 5-minute break and then debrief for 20 minutes and then end the stream. But for now, a 5-minute short break. See you soon. And we are live, I think. There's animals, birds, bird. Oh, yeah. So that was our first playtest of a particular group of Corvids. Never tried it before, so I'm really interested in hearing everyone's thoughts about this. First of all, a quick round of, well, how do you feel? How did it go?
Liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely really, really fun. I like it too.
Yeah. I'm just gonna echo all the others.
Echo. You're not mockingbirds. You're.
Friends are like, it was fun. This is my excited face.
This is my bird face. Welcome to Finnish wonderful way of pronouncing English. This is my bird face. Let's go around. Any highlights? What stuck to your mind about the game and what we did?
I like the bird power. It's kind of like a nice addition, making it a little bit magical, and giving them really cool powers to help being the best birds they can be.
Yeah.
I also like the part that you had the bird and the investigative role, so it gave like a core for the bird what you're gonna do. So I like that combination.
Yep.
I like the kind of overall sort of setup where you are these kind of protectors of the community. It's like you see it in other games as well, but you really feel like you're playing kind of the good guys in the setting. Like it feels more like that than in your usual game, I think.
Yep.
I also read pig.
You never found out its name. His name was Wilbur. Wilbur.
Well, Wilbur is sus, so Wilbur could go.
Yeah.
Wilbur.
That was our one dirty word of the stream.
Yes.
I loved your characters. I really liked them. They had personality and felt like, yeah, I really liked them. I could watch your antics like over and over again.
Campaign confirmed.
I am not confirming or denying anything.
No, but if you do want to run it again, I'm definitely all for it. This is really, I want to see more of their adventures as well.
I'm immediately going to go into
nerd.
I really liked how the system, like whenever you're rolling dice, it kind of like the basic questions that are asked are quite useful. Kind of like, are you good at this? For example, it's especially like in a game like this where we had created the characters really quickly. So and you sort of have to define the character on the fly, but they're not super difficult. So they're like, are you good at this or not? So they are not like, what is your deepest desire in life, kind of thing. So I think like already in just under 2 hours we managed to go from really really loosely sketched characters to like a little more tightly sketched characters. So that's something I really liked.
Yeah.
And I really like that the questions also incentive to play to your kind of like strengths. So I noticed that kind of like, what I'm about to do is probably going to result in a bad roll. So that kind of forces me to think like, how would I do it in a way that results in just a characterization of playing to my bird, playing to my stereotype, of playing to my investigative role.
Yep.
I agree with that. I also like the one that you can, with the cost, make the be more successful, because it might give more to the game when you need to pay the cost for something.
And also something that I was thinking, I would have liked to see, and this probably would come in at a longer game. I would have loved to see some of, like, at least one of us fail one of those kind of like those exhaustion or the feather rolls, not the feather rolls, and that's something I'm thinking about, like how do we push it even higher? So maybe that could cause more of a risk because now we were basically just going around with 2 or 3 feathers, so you have to be quite unlike-handed, and I would have wanted to see a more failing.
Yeah, probably for a one-shot there should be some starting value for that, just because you don't make that many rolls. And I kept pushing you to make rolls all the time and asking if you wanted to use bird powers and such. So like for that, I agree. But yeah, go ahead.
I wanted Septimus to fail that feather roll because it would have been such a delicious time, and it was already a little bit showing in his character that he was kind of like a former aristocrat, and this was personal. And the failure of his type would have been to be really selfish. So he would have just kind of like up and ran with the vase and leaving these two to deal with it, which would have been, I think, just really nice characterization for Septimus as well.
Yeah, it would have fit him very well. Yep.
Yeah. Also, maybe giving the, like, especially in situations where you can't come up with a cost for upping your success, then maybe use that to push more feathers on the player. Kind of like if you come up with a good cost, then take 2 feathers or something like this.
Yeah.
That way I think it would be a success either way. Either you come up with an interesting cost, or then you make it more probable that someone's going to fail the roll. And I kind of like it because the sort of the fails that or evolving into the archetype of the bird, they're not as bad or as extreme as in something like vampire or monster heart. So they're not like kind of scenario breaking things, but they're more like, or at least on paper they seem like sort of fun, annoying kind of things.
I think they can be played like very loosely or hard, again depending on the genre. If I were to run this as a very like grim and like sort of evil game, then I would say that the bird archetypes are like they could go into dark places if wanted. But yeah, this was sort of Disney PG-13 version of this, so not that much horror. I loved the world. I have to say that I came up with it after you decided on it, so it's like the steampunkish version of this world was really fun to run in. I don't know how horrible my NPCs were, but like I had way too much.
Cool.
I had way too much fun. I don't get to do accents ever, and then yeah. Yep.
For some reason I felt why, but I felt like the anthropomorphic birds kind of fit this sort of setting. Like I had, like when we were discussing before the game, like what kind of genre do we want to play, I had much harder time like seeing this as like a cyberpunk game or like a modern sort of game. But I don't really know why, but it's for some reason it felt fitting here. But that might just be me, or like what do the other players think?
Yeah, I think it was actually funny that we slid into, I think we agreed that this would be kind of like noir, but I think this was more like PG-13 adventure, which I don't mind at all. I think it worked better. They just realized that, oh yeah, we agreed to do noir, but this wasn't noir at all. So that was funny, that how it worked out. I felt like I got this like little bit old school Disney animation vibe, like Feeble or something like that somehow.
Yeah, with this time we had for the game, I think that this worked better than going to really dark.
Yeah.
With this time we had.
Yeah,
Because
we
noir
could
is
have gone darker. Yeah.
about the description of dark and rain.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
rain and it's rain. I think I messed it up by saying that it's a sunny summer day, but yeah.
But it's actually really fun to play something like a bit more light. I've noticed that most of the games I play in, like even when they're not intended to, they tend to kind of like go on a downward trajectory because everyone likes sort of playing miserable characters or playing up or like emphasizing failures and this kind of, and it can kind of even if the game starts up like a little bit more upbeat, then it can quite easily become this like more and more dark as it goes along. So it was actually nice to play something that was like exciting but grim.
Yeah, it was fun to run, and I have a tendency to go dark, but yeah, this was nice and light. What else?
I'm still thinking about the bagpipe goose.
I love the idea of like the final boss not being a pig but a goose, because geese are also sus.
Yeah.
Geese are always very sus.
Yeah, geese are very, very, very sus, and any Finnish person especially has that experience with these very, very annoying geese each year. They're everywhere and they're very sus.
Or more like geese aren't sus, they're just instant war.
Yeah, it's they're evil. They're pure evil. Like unlike other animals, they're evil. And of course, peace was never an option. I was like I even before anything else about the scenario, I knew that I wanted to have Goose as a perpetrator, as a thief and a murderer. Because peace was never an option. Yeah.
Like coming back to the system, I really like the as Maya mentioned, the different roles of the characters, like investigator roles. I think it also contributes to the kind of play where there is something for everyone to do. Like of course it depends on the GM a lot, but I think it also makes it easier that that you have the roles to play with. So kind of like if you have these three characters, then this is the kind of stuff you want to have for them to do, like instead of everyone just being everything or this kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and it actually worked out when I was doing that first role as Septimus, kind of like trying to figure out who these people are and realizing like, this is not actually this character's strength. And I just realized like after I will have like, lore master and thief combo will mean that I have kind of like very specific roles where I'm good at. So kind of like also playing the Septimus being kind of like aristocrat, I almost kind of like took on a leadership role, which Raven, because I felt like, okay, I'll just delegate and tell other people what to do while I'm waiting for them to find something that I can lure over.
Yeah, one thing that I was actually quite happy with was the fact that the bird roles and the investigative roles don't overlap that much. So, like, you don't have this need to min-max a character so that you are someone who is a sharp-eyed bird and then a detective. This sort of combo, but it means that you have to do things that you are good at, but rarely you get to roll both of them. Yeah.
But yeah, and you can make like interesting combos. Like what if we had, muscle and detective, thief and medic? So kind of like it already creates interesting character archetypes. Like what could a thief slash medic kind of combo? What kind of person would that be?
And I think that gives an excellent opportunity for like a short campaign or like a one shot that you can pick the main things from those two and go with that. So it helps if you want to have like a short ones.
I just realized that a thief and a medic is
Yeah.
Also very fitting for a kind of like a Victorian setting.
They won't miss this little bone, and they don't need to get me anymore. Just putting that here. Okay, my next character is
Wonderful. And Mikko is again looking like something out of a horror movie.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's my. I can only keep up appearances. Soul is
Mikko is
glitchy.
very sus. Any final words or like things you want to point out, highlight, anything before we go to closing credits? Any shout outs?
This was very fun.
It was a craftful.
I am. I want to see version 1.0 of this game.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll come eventually. This has been like, as all my games, this is something that is very much me reacting to something and just putting out angry words at a thing. Yeah.
I think Petri will find that there is a ravenous crowd waiting for this game.
Ouch. Okay, that's it.
And on that
note, I'm Petri. You can find me on Twitter at Alvan and on Twitch on this channel. I make games. You can find them on strangeworlder.itch.io, and I write stuff. Yeah, every morning here on this channel. So come watch me write stuff. Yeah, that's about it. Let's go through the other players in the same order as we started it. Oh sheesh! I was supposed to be last. Oh well, I can't stick to my script. Let's start with Evi.
Yeah. Hi everyone. So my name is Evi. I played Septimus today. I'm not playing a snobby magpie thief, lore master. I design video games for a living, which is pretty cool. And you can see me mostly tweet about game industry and politics and memes. I'll nickname Silliet, so that's Silliet.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm Maya, and during my daytime, I'm a data analyst, and today I played Penny, a bit shy jackdaw, who likes to talk to dead people, and I'm not that active on the internet, but you can find me from Twitter if you want to, from cats and some corvids sometimes.
Yeah, I'm Mick. I research games for a living and game players. You can find me on Twitter. The handle should be somewhere around here. Follow me for all sorts of weird retweets, less politics for the sake of my mental health. And you can find my miniature stuff at dawnoftheLead.com. That's it for me. Hope to be playing a muscular crow in the future as well.
Wonderful. And then I will introduce my... Yeah.
Thank you for Petri.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, and you've been a wonderful group of players. Apparently, I've run out of words. This is a perfect place for us to stop the stream. Thank you, everyone.